In Islam's most trusted sources, people not only respected Muhammad, but they collected his saliva. Yep, I'm very serious. And no, it's not metaphorical. They really, really did it. They would catch it, rub it on their faces, and then treat it as the source of blessing. And I'm gently forced to ask a very basic question here. At what point does honoring a prophet start to look like something else? That starts with S and then goes on with H. Let's look at the few Islamic sources. Focus on Sahih Bukhari. This was identified one of the most trusted sources. I know as the time is moving on, as critics of Islam is exposing those sources, they're not much reliable anymore in the eyes of Muslims, but still, there was a time and place. Sahih Bukhari was one of the most authentic collection in Sunni Islam. As we look at this, I want you to notice the pattern, not just what they say, but what they imply. Here is the description of paradise. The people of paradise will not spit, blow their noses, and relieve themselves. So in Islamic paradise, bodily impurities, things like saliva are gone. There is no need for them, no place for them. So keep that in your mind, right? Now move from paradise to planet Earth. Actually go back to 7th century in planet Earth in the time of Muhammad. Listen to this hadith very carefully. Whenever the Prophet spat, it would fall in the hands of one of them and he would rub it on his face and skin. Think about it. It's like face cream, right? Rub it nicely. Make sure it's in, instead of like going up and down, it's in circulating, right? You want to make sure it goes in all the cells there. Think about that. They are not avoiding it. When someone spots on you, what you do, you kind of react and then you make sure spot doesn't touch you, right? I was spotted a few times by Muslims. And then first thing I was like, oh, I got to clean my face. I need to wash my face. It's urgent. But in here, they are collecting it. Not only collecting it, they are applying it on themselves. Why? Because they believe there is a blessing in it. And then you ask the question, right? Who give them that idea? Where that idea even come from? Let's go a little bit further. We are told that Muhammad spat into food, spat into pot, and invoked blessing over it. And even more striking, he spat on a dead body. Spitting is very, very rude thing. In UK, actually, it's against law when someone spits on you. But in Muhammad time, yeah, it's like such a blessing even when he spits on that person, right? Muslims must be so grateful that their prophet is not living in 21st century in UK, where spitting is against law. So in 7th century, now saliva isn't just something companions are collecting, it is something being actively used as a conduct of blessing. So let's do some dangerous thing, right? Let's do thinking. On one side, in paradise, there is no spitting, no bodily discharge. That's part of, let's say, perfection. On the other hand, on planet Earth, Muhammad's saliva is being treated as something special, something powerful, something worth seeking out and applying. So here's the question Muslims need to think and answer. What exactly is going on here? Yeah, there is something is going on here. It is really, really creepy and uncomfortable. So what exactly is going on here? Remember, Muslims tell you Islam is built on Tawhid, so-called absolute oneness of God. No partners, no intermediates, no shared divine attributes. And yet, here we have people treating this physical substance of man's body as a source of blessing. And Muhammad is not telling them off. Muhammad is not confronting them. And this is not just respect, this is not just love, but something closer to mediation, right? So, where is the line? When does honoring a prophet becomes attributing him to something that belongs to Allah alone? Just think about it little bit. Just think about it very, very little. So I mentioned this to Muslims in the past, and respond is something usually in the lines of, no, this is not worship, this is just seeking blessing. Okay, if it's seeking blessing. But Think about that for a bit. If blessing can come through someone's saliva, who is just seen as human, if people seek it, if people collect it, if people apply it, then functionally, what role is that person is playing whom you identify just a human? Because in the Bible, blessing ultimately comes from Lord, not from physical fluids of any prophet at all. It seems difficult to me that escaping the tension here, right? Islam says there is no intermediaries, but earliest Muslim sources shows people are treating Muhammad like a channel of divine blessing in a very physical and almost tangible way. Not just listening to him, not just obeying him, but using what comes out of his body. And that's not just a side small detail. That's a theological problem for Muslims. And here where Christian message is really, really very different. God doesn't ask you to chase blessing through body of a prophet. No, no. He gave himself. In Jesus Christ, eternal Son of the Father, God draws near, not as a distant source of power, but as a loving Father who shares his life, not through fragments, not through objects, not through fluents, not through spots, not through saliva, but through a relationship. And you know what? That's the difference. So the simple question is, does Islam teaches pre-monotheist or there is something else going here? Let me know what you think.